Hello, welcome back to another chocolate tasting. We've been away for a while, but with all the European things going on at the moment, it's 2016 and we've got the European Cup, we've just had a Eurovision Song Contest, and in Britain we've got the in-out European Union vote coming up. So we thought it'd be a good time to try out some European chocolates and give us some idea, taste of Europe, to see whether we want to stay in the Union or leave. So is it Brexit or is it Remain? Well, I'm here with Super Taster Amanda, as ever, and we've got a massive array of chocolates to try, which we might make it through or we might not. So where are we going to start, Amanda?
Well, we're not going to try all the chocolate of Europe today, because obviously that would be a huge amount. What we have today is we've got a selection of chocolate mainly from supermarkets, local shops that we could find on a Sunday afternoon. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go to Poland, Germany, Switzerland, Italy and the UK in our tasting today.
All quite major footballing nations as well.
That's right, indeed. I thought today we would start off with Poland. That's mainly because the two chocolates we got from Polish chocolates both look quite sweet. So I thought it would be a good idea to make a start with those. And we're going to finish up probably with Switzerland because they've got the darkest chocolate that we found today.
Okay.
So just to enable us to taste a little bit better.
Brilliant.
Okay, I'm going to start off with this one. It's made by E. Wedel or E. Wedel. I'm not sure how that's pronounced. And this one came from the World Food section in our local supermarket.
What kind of chocolate is this? Is it a sweet chocolate with a flavouring in?
It's a sweet chocolate with a strawberry filling, so it's not something I'd usually taste, but it seems quite typical of the kind of Polish chocolate in this country. So already there's quite a strawberry smell coming off of that.
I've smelled that strawberry flavour smell before.
And it's quite a soft chocolate. That may be because we've got quite a lot of lights on in here.
It's got very hot in the studio.
And it's actually quite hot. So I'm just going to break that. It's breaking very, very easily. If I just give you a piece. And so inside we've got a creamy filling and also a sort of jammy looking filling.
Any ideas what the white creamy filling might be?
Probably largely vegetable fat,
mm-hmm.
and kind of milk and sugar, I'd have thought, from the taste.
Yep.
So this tastes very, very sweet.
That tastes to me just like the kind of what they call the strawberry centre, soft centre chocolates you might get in a chocolate box.
Yeah. But
just in a different shape. Actually, in a bar that you could crack off squares, and it gives me that.
Yeah, it's quite slightly sore on the throat eating it because it is incredibly sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But if you like the kind of strawberry ones out of a box of roses, you might enjoy this.
Yeah. If you're out hiking and it's cold and you had a bar of this, you'd probably appreciate it more than I just have.
So the next one we got, and I just got this because I thought it looked interesting. It's the same make. This actually came from the local Turkish shop just around the corner, and it's got advocaat flavoured filling.
Wow.
And I've never seen anything quite like this before, so I thought we'd taste it, see what it's like. So it's quite dark. It's also got some bloom on it, which doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that it's reacted a little bit to the oxygen at some stage, and it's developed a slight bloom.
I quite like the smell of that. It smells a bit darker than the other one.
So this is dark chocolate.
That's why. That's a lot less soft as well, even considering the heat in here. It reminds me a bit of that Scott Block cooking chocolate. Just the texture of it, it's like powdery.
It's a slightly powdery chocolate. I do actually like the filling.
It's more subtle than the other one, isn't it?
It's more subtle, and it does remind me of so-called champagne chocolates I've had. It just has that slightly sort of alcoholic taste. I don't think I'd know it was advocaat.
No,
I think blind taste testing, I would probably say it was a Marc de Champagne bar of European chocolate. I think we once had some from Spain that was fairly similar to this, but it was dark in colour.
But for a dark chocolate, that's still very sweet, isn't it?
It's very sweet for a dark chocolate. It's not a high cocoa chocolate. And I suspect it's not a particularly fantastic quality of chocolate either. I mean, this is I suppose all the bars we've got today are the kind of picnic bars. They're not not the special quality ones, but I actually quite like that, so I'll probably buy that one again. So I think that's 1 thumbs up and 1 thumbs down for Poland so far.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we'll go for France next.
A great footballing nation, I believe.
So indeed, so these two actually came from a French supermarket. They're not available in the UK, although the Lindt, for those of you who are wondering why we're tasting Lindt which is known as a Swiss chocolate, as a French chocolate, is actually a lot of it's produced in France. So we've put this in the French camp today. It's also, this one, like I said, is a particular packaging of Lindt that I think you can only get in France. So we chose this one. These are called Rocher, and they again are French supermarket. I really like them, and I always get some when I'm in France.
They're different from Ferrero Rocher,
they are
aren't
different
they?
from Ferrero Rocher, and we will come to those in a minute.
Because Rocher means rock, doesn't it?
It does indeed.
They're kind of like lumps of chocolate.
They're lumps of chocolate. In fact, let's do those first as we're talking about them. So it's an absolutely enormous, slightly grotesque looking thing. So I'm just going to chop this one in half. This one, as you can see, it's got a very smooth filling.
Looks a bit like a Mars bar, or
It
part
does
of a
look
Mars
like
bar.
slightly like part of a Mars bar. On the outside, there's some little nuts and chocolate. It smells very hazelnut praline. Did you want the whole bit, or a bit of the bit that's crumbled off?
Of course. That's quite a solid inside. It's not like a Ferrero Rocher's got a softer inside, I think, hasn't it? More the Nutella stuff.
So this has a kind of a creamy, nutty texture to it.
The texture reminds me of halva a bit. You know, the nuts paste.
Yes.
I suspect maybe it's got more nuts in than Nutella might have, possibly.
Yeah, it tastes like there's a high nut content in there. So it's 26% praline. I suppose it's 2.8% actual nuts.
It's definitely different from Ferrero Rocher. It's, bigger, which makes it different anyway. I think a bit sweeter, actually.
It is quite sweet,
I think a bit more sickly than the Ferrero Rocher.
Yeah, so I usually put these in the fridge and eat them when they're very cold. I wouldn't usually eat them at room temperature. But again, I think after a sort of tiring day or in a tiring walk, this could be quite nice. As a sort of pick-me-up kind of chocolate.
Yeah, I'm getting a bit of a sugar rush already. 3 chocolates in.
That's that one. If we just look at this, which is the citron frappe, so lemon chocolate, which again isn't something you tend to see in the UK. It's quite an odd thing. I really like lemon flavoured things, so I chose this because that's what I like. So it breaks quite nicely. It's quite a clean snap, even at room temperature. It's not bending like some of the chocolate did. It's got quite a lemony smell. And just to...
Does that suggest a higher cocoa fats content?
I suspect so, yes. So it is actually, the chocolate's actually snapping against the filling.
I don't usually like lemon flavoured chocolate, so I'm going to see how this goes. That's different than I expected. That's got a real tang to it, hasn't it?
So it's very tangy.
I don't know if that's an artificial tang.
It's got a 2% lemon juice in here inside the filling, so it's got quite a lot of lemon, and I think that does give it its tanginess. It's also got eggs in it, so it does remind me a lot of lemon curd.
It's almost got a kind of sherbety kind of acidity to it. I don't think I'd choose that personally, but I think if I wanted that lemon taste, I'd eat lemon curd.
But for someone who like me likes chocolate and lemon together, it is quite a nice one. Again, it does hurt the mouth slightly. It's quite sharp, quite tangy, quite sweet. So it's another one that you wouldn't probably eat a huge amount of in one go. But I think with the chocolate you can taste it's quite a good quality chocolate.
It's a very sweet chocolate though, isn't it?
It's
I
very
find the
sweet,
contrast a bit too much. Maybe a darker chocolate would work better.
Yeah, I think actually you're right. I think a dark chocolate with lemon inside would be absolutely lovely.
Because I think that chocolate's so sweet it makes you want to eat loads.
You're
but
right, yeah.
The lemony bit maybe doesn't make you want to eat loads.
Yeah.
So it's kind of halfway between classy and kind of scoff
Yes, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so that's the French, which I think we're quite liking, aren't we?
That's like an attempt at goal, isn't it? But
It's
not
certainly an
actual
attempt
score.
to goal. We don't know whether it's I think they need to have another look at it, see if that's a goal or not. Well, I thought we'd go to Italy next. So from Italy, we've got some old favourites, which is the Ferrero Rocher. Yeah. We've also got a Kinder Surprise. So I think what we'll do is we will start off with the Kinder Surprise, because again, that's a very sweet, and we couldn't actually find any Italian chocolate bars, so this is why we've got the Italian ones in a slightly different format.
Italy's not particularly famous for chocolate making, is it?
No,
like the Switzerland or Belgium are
no, it's not
the two countries I think of.
No, and actually mentioning that we haven't got any Belgian chocolate either, so we may need to do another taste test to fit in some more European countries that we didn't.
And of course, the irony is that none of these countries grow cocoa.
No.
And a lot of them import the cocoa as a raw product.
The Kinder Eggs sort of pride themselves on having a low cocoa content and a high milk content.
And they're white chocolate covered in milk chocolate as well, aren't they?
I mean, I quite like these. They're very sweet. But if you're on a long journey or something and you want a little pick-me-up with something exciting inside, they are very good.
The thing about that chocolate is it's not really sickly sweet, is it?
No.
It is sweet, but some of them I'm just kind of thinking that's painful. But this one is just sweet and nice somehow.
Yes. Yeah. And it doesn't leave a horrible taste in the mouth. It's actually quite a clean chocolate to eat.
Yeah.
So this is one of our old favourites, the Ferrero Rocher. And again, I think we could chop this one in half because we are going through so much. So that has a lovely nutty chocolatey smell.
Oh yeah. And it's got a kind of wafer inside, hasn't it? And then Nutella basically inside that.
So if we look at this, we've got the chocolate and nuts on the outside, and then a shell, and then Nutella, and then a nut in the middle.
A nut in the middle. I forgot the nuts.
So it's got quite, in that way, it's quite a lot more sophisticated than the French Rocher.
Yeah. I think I do prefer that to the French one. The chocolate seems kind of richer. I guess it's a dark chocolate to some extent, or entirely dark. No milk, in other words.
I think it's actually a milk chocolate, but it's a very good milk chocolate.
I mean, it just kind of tastes like a dark chocolate.
I think the quality is good. It's I think a little bit of wafer in the nuts. I mean, it's slightly less sweet. So would you say that's a winner so far, that one?
Oh, I think that's a goal for Italy.
That's a goal for Italy. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe even two with the Kinder Egg.
So we've got 1 goal for Poland, 2 goals for Italy. Let's move on to Germany now. So this is from a UK discounter supermarket.
It was Aldi, wasn't it?
Was it Lidl?
I think it was Aldi.
I think it's Lidl, but it was from one of those German discounters that we have in the UK. Lidl?
You're right.
I was right.
Yeah, made for Lidl.
And this is made in Germany.
That's a huge, great chunk of it.
I'm just going to take out a little bit.
What kind of smell are we getting here then?
So it doesn't smell massively of anything, to be honest, so far. It says on the packaging that it's fruit and nut, but actually in those I can only see nut.
Yep.
Oh, there's a little bit of fruit just sticking through there.
Oh, right, they're tiny bits, aren't they? Tiny bits of fruit. Yeah, not a bit of smell, but in this hot studio you'd expect quite a lot.
So that is incredibly sweet.
It's nice and crunchy though, compared to the Polish ones. I think a lot less vegetable fat in it, I suspect.
Yeah, the texture's slightly better. I'll try and get one with a bit of fruit in it.
Yeah, that is very sweet. That's sweeter than a Cadbury's fruit and nuts, isn't it? I think. Yeah, that's a that's a bit too much for me.
That is. Yeah, I would say far too sweet.
I'm not getting the kind of sore throat effect from it, but I'm just getting a kind of crazy sugar rush.
Yeah. I don't think that the nuts or the raisins come through terribly well in that.
Yeah, the nuts do texture, but
Well, they do texture, but they're kind of like
kind of
crushed
small, aren't they?
bug texture or something. They're not. The bit of nut I had felt like it shouldn't be there.
Really?
It felt
Oh,
like
right.
it was probably in the wrong place, so it was slightly disconcerting to eat. The fruit I could barely see and couldn't taste at all. So I would say that's I suppose if you were up a mountain and dying, it would be good.
That bad.
I mean, and I think, on a very long car journey where you really need some sugar, it would be good. It's better than eating a bag of sugar. But I can't really think that there'd be a lot of pleasure to be gained from eating that.
Would you call that an own goal for Germany?
I think I would call that an own goal for Germany.
dear.
Yeah, it's quite a...
This isn't just because we're living in England that we're down on Germany.
No, my ancestors are German.
Yeah, indeed.
So just to move on from that, this is again a well-known German brand, Ritter Sport.
I didn't know it was German, but that's a German brand. And
It is indeed. These are the sort of things we used to often have in the car as a child on picnics after swimming. You can some
is
nice
there
square.
any link with sport at all?
Well, we used to have them after we went swimming.
I suppose so. Yeah.
So I've always thought of them as the sort of thing you take horse riding or swimming because they fit nicely in a pocket. So
I see. I expect all the Olympic people this summer are going to have one of those melting in their shorts.
I'm sure they will. And I really like the packaging of this actually. I think it's quite different from the usual shape of chocolate bars. It's the traditional square, nice simple colours. It's not too busy. I'm quite a big fan of this as a
brand. Yeah.
as a brand.
But how's the taste?
So it smells dark.
This is a marzipan filled one as well, isn't it?
Yeah, which I chose because I think Germany do quite a lot of marzipan and chocolate, so it's quite a traditional combination.
Oh, yeah, the Stollen cake and such like, isn't it? It's the marzipan.
Yeah, and the Domino Stein.
Oh, yeah.
So you can really smell dark chocolate marzipan. It's not melting at all in this heat, actually. It's not even getting finger marks on. It's still very
solid.
glossy, solid chocolate. Nice crunch on that.
Yeah, that is nice.
Still quite a sweet dark chocolate.
And the marzipan, of course, lifts that sweetness too. Again, that's not got the whatever it is that makes my throat sore in the sweet chocolate.
So that one's actually one of the nicest ones we've had so far. A world away, I think, from the other chocolate, although I think possibly 20 pence more expensive in terms of price.
For quite a lot less chocolate as well.
No, they're both 100 grams.
Same weight, all right.
So it's
different size.
deceptive, this packaging.
But it's thicker.
It's thicker chocolate, yeah. So this was 69 pence, and I think this delightful thing was 49 pence.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to England next.
Okay.
So for England, we have Cadbury's, which is obviously a really well-known British brand.
I think it's been bought out by Kraft now, hasn't
No,
it? So
I don't think it's produced here anymore.
we've got quite an interesting one here.
And we've got
which
this
is
triple choc sensation, which is basically a milk chocolate base and then some white chocolate and then some dark chocolate. It basically smells of white and milk chocolate. You can't smell the dark chocolate at all.
It's nice and solid, isn't it?
It's solid
heat.
in this heat. It snaps quite nicely.
It's quite thick as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
More than a centimetre thick.
Yeah, it's
in the thickest bits. Let's eat some.
It's soft to bite. I have to say I don't get the point of it. It feels like you don't really taste any of the chocolates quite properly. You just get quite a sweet taste.
It's a bit cloying, isn't it?
It's very
when it
cloying.
melts. I am getting a bit of complexity in the taste there. It seems like there's kind of swirling of tastes, which all of them are being quite nice. Certainly don't have any problems with that.
I think if it was just the dark chocolate, it would be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the other two chocolates that bring it down, really.
Yeah.
Like you say, it's very cloying. It's again, long walk, car journey, train journey, it would be fine.
Yeah.
But it's not. I just don't really think that those three do anything for each other. I think you could have a much nicer experience eating a square of each separately. I think that putting them together hasn't actually enhanced them. So it feels like it's a little bit of a waste of three chocolates.
Yeah.
Rather than being something that you can really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
So on to the next UK one. We chose a green and blacks.
And that's a fair trade chocolate. I mentioned earlier that a lot of European countries import their raw materials from chocolate producing countries on quite a very low tax tariff, because if they imported ready-made chocolate, it'd be a lot higher tax tariff. So in a way, they're rather mistreating the producer countries by paying them a very small amount for their cocoa and then making the chocolate here and making all the profits here.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know quite. I don't know quite where Green and Blacks is made. We're guessing it's made in Britain, hence we're having it in the English team. But they pay a lot fairer rate for the chocolate, for the cocoa they buy from the producer countries, which is a good thing. I think.
Absolutely.
If you're going to be buying chocolate, really consider fair trade, because that makes life a lot nicer for the people who make it.
Yeah, and maybe we'll do a fair trade taste at some point. So this is a ginger dark chocolate.
It's a very interesting shape, that, isn't it? It's kind of laid out like a full size bar with lots of tiny squares. They're about a centimetre.
Yeah, so this is actually out of a separate tasting box that we've got, which we need to taste at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're kind of like tiny squares. I don't know if you can actually break them into individual squares. Or you can just.
Not to be mistaken with X-Lax.
There's a tiny piece of chocolate here. If I can taste that as such a tiny piece, that would be a mark of a good chocolate. Any clues about the chocolate? Is it a dark chocolate?
It's a dark chocolate with ginger.
With tiny bits of ginger. I can see the bits of ginger in it. So it's actual bits of ginger, not ginger flavouring. I think that's one of the highest quality chocolates so far, which I can tell by the fact I can't taste anything for the first few bites, which hopefully means I'm going to taste more a bit later as I chew.
So the chocolate's very nice. The ginger isn't coming through that much.
I'm getting
It's a little bit of ginger, but not a huge amount. But it is a nice tasting chocolate. Nice texture.
I think you have to chew the little bits of ginger to get that gingeriness out. I think these chocolates we've got are slightly out of date, but there's no oxidisation on them. They're still in very nice condition, and the taste is good.
Yeah, that one's got a bit more ginger in it. But it may also be why the ginger taste not coming through quite as much as it could,
It
because
could be that,
they are slightly older, these ones. But I think that's a very nice chocolate, very pleasant.
And fair trade as well.
And fair trade.
Which is excellent.
Very good. So I think that's one goal for England. Mm-hmm. Last but not least, we've got Swiss chocolate. Milka, which you don't that often see in the UK, but again I got from the local, I think it came from the local Polish shop actually.
All right. I don't think I've ever actually had Milka before.
No.
I know the brand so well from seeing adverts on skiing. They sponsor a lot of skiing events.
Absolutely. And this one, which is, although it's from a British supermarket, is Swiss chocolate, so made in Switzerland.
And that's a mint flavour one, isn't it?
And that's a mint one. We're going to finish up with that because that's a dark chocolate. The Milka has quite an odd look to it.
Yes, it's very
quite
strange.
Glossy.
But this is a special bubbly one, isn't it?
This is a specially bubbly one.
It looks like an Aero bar inside rather than the Whisper bar. It's quite big bubbles.
That's right.
And do you think this is like a posh brand doing a kind of fun thing for for the children of posh people, or is it more of a
No, I
kind
think
of
Milka's
Cadbury's
a
kind of?
Cadbury's type brand.
Oh right, so it's an everyday chocolate.
It's an everyday chocolate. Very sweet, milky smell to it. I quite like it. It
Yeah, it's
tastes
nice.
like a decent chocolate.
That one does take a little while for the taste to come as well, doesn't it? Which
Yeah.
again suggests it's kind of good.
Yeah. So that one feels like a reasonably pleasant chocolate to eat.
I can imagine like taking that in both hands
Yeah.
and just munching my way through it. Actually, it is
And
quite
actually,
nice.
the aeration is quite nice because it makes it slightly less dense, so it gives it a slightly lighter feel. And finally, we've got this, which is a dark chocolate with mint in it.
You got that in a Tesco. It's one of the
This
Tesco's
came from-
finest. So this should be a posh chocolate.
And it smells very, very minty. You can smell it a long way away. Real snap to that.
And that's a 72% or higher
This
chocolate.
is-
It doesn't actually say, does it? They also do a 72 and an 82%. chocolate.
It's got cocoa
brand.
solid has been 55%,
Oh,
so it's not
55.
massively high percentage.
Eat a whole piece of this. Oh yeah. I'm worried this might going to just taste of toothpaste, but I thought we'd try it anyway. That's the crunchiest chocolate yet, isn't it? There's no filling in this, so it's a
No,
peppermint
it's a solid. It's
oil,
got
I guess,
peppermint oil in
added
it.
to it.
And it's actually quite pleasant. It's quite minty.
Yeah, that benefits from being eaten slowly, definitely. I don't think I'd choose this one over quite a few other chocolates. Not because it's bad, but I think I'd rather have a non-minty chocolate than a
Yes.
minty one, personally.
Yeah. The chocolate itself is quite bitter. So there's quite a bitter aftertaste on that. But I would possibly prefer something like an after eight. I do quite like it. But like you, I'm not a big mint fan, so
Maybe we shouldn't have bought it.
actually thinking ice cream or with ice cream, it would be
Yeah.
absolutely lovely.
I was just thinking that, with some kind of dessert, or with coffee maybe, with
Or
a
with
strong coffee.
Yeah, so this is maybe more of an after dinner chocolate, I think, whereas the others
Yeah.
are more like picnic chocolates. So that's been our quick tour around 5 of the nations of Europe.
Who was our winner? Germany was good, weren't they?
Germany was good, Italy was good. They've all had at least one decent bar of chocolate.
Yeah.
We like the Advocaat from Poland. We quite like the Rocher and the mint from France. We like the Ritter Sport from Germany. We like both the Ferrero Rocher and the Kinder Egg from Italy.
Yeah. I'm trying to think which my very favourite was of everything. I was a big fan of the bubbly Milka. That was
Right.
very
So
nice.
we've got this in contention. I was a big fan of this one.
Yeah, the marzipan Ritter Sport.
And also, I don't know where the Ferrero Rocher.
Oh right, yeah, the Ferrero Rocher was very nice. Anything else? The Polish Advocaat
And the
was
Polish
quite
Advocaat.
nice. We like the green and blacks.
I really like the green and black.
Yeah, England isn't out at all.
Does that mean France is out?
Oh yeah, maybe. The citron one was quite nice, though, wasn't it?
So are we saying that we
We like a bit of everything,
know
don't
a
we?
bit of everything?
Yeah,
Generally, we just like Europe, don't we?
we like Europe.
So it sounds like there needs to be another round of this European Chocolate Cup.
Yep, maybe there does. We're all winners, having such a variety of chocolates from so many places.
I would agree. Absolutely.
Thanks for watching. Any comments about your chocolate tasting experiences, put them in the comments down below. And enjoy your chocolate and enjoy it responsibly, as we always say. Cheers.
Bye-bye.